I'm surprised you made it this far.
I hope you guys are ready for December. It's just 1 week away. Now before I begin this, I would like to start off with Game Awards or anything. I don't even care. It doesn't matter what games win, I will play virtually anything. I'm probably certain some of you have already watched the Game Awards. So let me know in the comments, which is your favorite? Tanga, if you're watching this, maybe you could be the judges for the Game Awards. Or maybe you and I can do it. Who knows? So let's get back to this. For the topic at hand, we will go back to a familiar console fanboys, or perhaps the Nintendo fanboys that got me, what, 1,200 views and 5 new subscribers somehow. I don't know how it happens. That's the first time I got it in just, what, 5 days? I don't know how that happened, so thank you, this Nintendo fanboys, for being a nutball, and thank you for being a troll. I don't know which one it is. Could be both. You're probably wondering, who am I talking about? Harman Smith. Let's see what he is up to. Before that, let's give you a context what I'm about to show you. I'm trying to figure it out. Well, let's just say I wanted to confirm his reasoning on the title of his video right now. I couldn't find it.
Looks like the last stand for PlayStation and Xbox is on the way. Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably going to be the last major release that PlayStation and Xbox ever receive, right? This is going to be the last game that really drives console sales. This is going to be the last game that gets really people fired up about buying this console, this brand, this identity. This is going to be the thing that gets a lot of people to buy PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's. But it is going to be the last, right? I do think this is going to be the title that really diminishes Rockstar's star, so to speak. This is going to be the title that kind of establishes that they aren't what they used to be, that they can't put out games that appeal to their audience anymore, and that...
Dude, last pillar? I mean, where'd you get your research? Seriously, have you done your research? Look, I tried to check Google search to validate what you are saying, and not only that, to validate your title. Nothing. I couldn't find anything. The only thing I could find is this one right here. This is the only thing I found. And this is October 23rd, 2023. It's an article, not much I found, but let's see the news. So, what's going on, Harmon? Let's see more. What else you have to say?
They just simply can't compete with what other open world games are doing, right? This is going to be the game where it becomes apparent that the Rockstar formula of simply running around an open field and just shooting everyone in sight and like fighting a bunch of cops is not going to be all that appealing in a world that's experienced Saints Row the Third and Yakuza and Zelda, Skyrim, more technically involved games than simply running around and killing people, right?
Really? You think Zelda's the only one? Bro, do you even know there are many open world games? Besides GTA, there is Far Cry, Spider-Man, Batman, many others. Hey, I played open world games too. And another thing, Harmon, have you even been to either a city or an island or anywhere? Do you even know how big it is, a city? See, this is the reason why it's called an open world. It's open. You can travel all the place. Take a look at Marvel Spider-Man 2. It goes the extra mile to visit not just in one area, all of New York. Yes, New York City from the satellite, it may look tiny, but if you zoom in, boom, it's big. It's larger. This is the reason why New York City is named the Big Apple. It's big. I could be wrong. And trust me, designing a world, yes, it's harder, but how do you design a world, or in this case, an open world, without getting boring, without having nothing in it? Starfield is doing an amazing job, of which one day I'm going to be playing it, because I'm anxious to playing it. Although I heard some say there will be a patch soon. I don't know if the patch for Starfield has arrived yet. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. And I did play Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is open action-packed games compared to role-playing games, but that's another thing. I also have Cyberpunk. Most importantly, you should know that Cyberpunk takes place in the future. I always wanted to know what the future looks like in 2077.
Grand Theft Auto is going to struggle, I think, with the legacy
Okay, what the hell is all this silence? Dude, I get that you're a Nintendo fanboys, but dude, can you at least edit your video? That's the first silence I took, which if you guys see a counter or a number somewhere up here or here, that is the first counter, meaning there was a dead silence. Keep an eye on for them. Seriously, Harmon, you have a gaming PC or perhaps a gaming laptop, edit your video. If you're not using it for gaming, use it for editing.
With the original, right? They are going to struggle a lot with living up to the legend of the earlier games. Like, they're not going to be as well received as San Andreas, as 3, as Vice City Stories, as 5 even. Like, I think when people buy Grand Theft Auto 6, when they play the game, when they go through the missions, when they like see all the stuff that's been stripped away, when they see how politically correct it is, when they see how the game like just isn't all that put together, that it's glitchy, that it's broken, that it's missing features that were from 4, 5, and San Andreas, when they experience this game, when they see its asinine plot, when they get to experience this thing, like there's gonna be this overwhelming consensus among a lot of people, especially people who played older Grand Theft Auto games.
Dude, firstly, yes, not all games gonna be 100% okay the moment it launch. Right now, you see Marvel Spider-Man, some people are complaining there are bugs and glitches, of which it's already been patched. That goes same for Resident Evil 4. This is the reason why they say never buy games day one. Well, there are exceptions. I think some of my viewers who are watching this have bought games day one and they don't run into any issues, either on PS5, Xbox, or even PC. Let me know in the comments. Look, that's the old PS2 game. I mean, the graphics, they're not even that good. It's like, what, pixelated? But I think the graphics are pretty much okay. Now that you have emulators, you can emulate virtually anything. And it's not gonna be a legacy last, man.
I am not having fun with this. Like the game is gonna sell. Like I don't think anybody would deny that, but I do think there is like a very clear shift in regards to the way Grand Theft Auto is going to be viewed by the public because this kind of material of just going around and killing people endlessly, it's simply not new or novel anymore. It isn't edgy. And if Rockstar like tones that down, they're gonna lose a lot of the appeal they had. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is an interesting example because that game technically sold like what was it, like 45 million units or something. Like it's one of the most popular games on PS4 and Xbox Series X, right? You know,
Let me see that. Let's see what's the Red Dead Redemption. Let's see. Here it is. Red Dead Redemption 2. How many copies sold today? How many? Okay, hang on a sec. Redemption, how many copies sold? Let's see. Okay, so far in 55 million units. Okay, let's see 2023. Let's see how many it sold. Oh, it increased. Not like everybody gonna talk about it. Bro, do you even know what a rating system is? You know, I think this is the reason why you made this, because you think that this game is not gonna be on Nintendo Switch. Of which, are you out of your mind? It's an open world game. You do know it's not gonna run on Switch. I mean, take a look at Hogwarts Legacy. You wanna know how long it took? 5 months. After the original release date, it took 5 months to port it to the Nintendo Switch. There are many sacrifices that need to be done. And this is the reason why Resident Evil 4 Remake, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Wolverine, the upcoming one, none of these AAA games or perhaps any open world games, they're not gonna run on Switch. I'm probably certain that the Switch is gonna be shut down, even if you did manage to get to run on the menu. Not gonna run the mission. I mean, do your research, man.
Xbox One, right? It was very financially successful, right? But is the game good? No. Like I played the game. It's linear. It's boring. It's woke. It's like anachronistic. It doesn't make any sense. Like the writing is terrible. Like the concept is terrible. Like it's put together so poorly, right? Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is simply just not that engaging of a game, even if the audience doesn't want to admit it.
Really, the audience didn't want to admit it? You mean like the 55 million people that bought it don't want to admit it? That everything is boring? Woke? I don't know about the woke thing, which I don't even care about it. Look, do you even play all these games? Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto? I'm probably certain you haven't. Look, why don't you do yourself a favor? Play those games and see it. Play it longer. Take a look at me. I play every game, regardless whether the Metacritic's either high or low. And you want to know what I do with the games that I don't seem enjoyable? You want to know what I do when I don't like that game or anything? I keep it. I uninstall, yes, but I keep it in my Steam library for the future. Because sooner or later, I'm going to be playing it again. I'll play again, play again. Look, and that's why I say, doesn't matter which game wins the Game Awards or wins Game of the Year, I will play virtually any game that could possibly at least last me the bare minimum 10 years or more, if possible.
I think with Grand Theft Auto 6, there is going to be this increasing feeling among the community, similar to how like hardcore gamers feel about COD and stuff like that, where it's just the same thing again, but worse, right? Like this isn't new, fresh, or exciting anymore. It's the same thing we've always had. And as a result of that, why exactly would I get excited for it? Like in a lot of ways, I think even now, where I'm at, like I have never played through Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5. I've never finished either of those games. Whenever I want to play a Grand Theft Auto game, I'll go back to San Andreas. I'll go back to Grove Street. I'm hanging out with CJ and the boys. Ryder, Big Smoke.
Of course you don't want to play the game. You only suck on Nintendo for that matter. If you really want to validate your claim, put some gameplay footage on the video. And another thing, dude, this is why I say edit your video. I don't know how many counters I had to put. Pretty much there's a lot. Because that glass right there, the one that's another counter. That's another dead silent counter. Do you even know that all these YouTube videos takes time? What, you just record and then post it? No, man, you see how the big YouTubers is. They took like what? Sometimes days, maybe months, maybe years to make. Just for like what? 20-minute videos or perhaps 30 minutes? I'm probably certain the Epic History TV took longer than that. Harmon, seriously, I think you really need to learn video editing. Seriously, learn it. Even I'm now learning it.
Like those guys, right? Because those games were better, right? They had a lot more of an edge to them. They were innovative for the time. They were put together better than what we got afterward with 4 and 5. They did have more things going for them. There were things about San Andreas that appeal to certain people. Now, I don't like the game. I don't think it's that great. I think Grand Theft Auto is one of the most overrated gaming IPs of all time. But like when you think about it, right? Like it hasn't. No Grand Theft Auto game has really been able to top San Andreas because San Andreas does do a lot of things that no other game in the franchise does. Like San Andreas is objectively the best, right? And even if like modern players don't want to admit it, right? And I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be another step downward. And I think it might be enough of a downgrade where even casual audiences start to notice that Grand Theft Auto isn't innovating, that the game doesn't look much better, that it's not that big of a deal, that like
I need to look into that. Is GTA San Andreas good? Good game? Okay, the best game. Still holds today. That's good. First off, seriously, Harmon. The game is not even released yet. They just released news. Look, they haven't released a trailer or anything. I mean, I didn't see any trailer on YouTube yet. I tried to look for it. Nothing. They said it's coming, but it's not even done yet, of which I'm not getting my hopes up. Seriously, the game's not even come out yet, and now you just thinking it's gonna be bad? Bro, do your research. I try to check everything under the sun on Google search. I hope my audience can help me out at this point, because I couldn't find anything to justify your claim. Honestly, Harman, I'm not sure you are watching the camera or watching somewhere else. I could be wrong. Also, your camera, why is it sometimes there's autofocus? Or perhaps the problem with the autofocus. What's going on with that? Seriously, fix it.
The game is underwhelming compared to what they played 10 years ago. 10 years of technological advancement, huge improvements, major changes, and they can't do anything new or interesting, right? I think that's going to be a pretty big deal, right? And I think with that, like, kind of, that broken pedestal, we're going to see that start to impact, like, the way the PlayStation brand is headed. Because without Grand Theft Auto, without, like, one of the big founding pillars of the PlayStation brand, like the console is gonna suffer for it, right? Like, are they really gonna go another console generation, the PlayStation 6 generation, without a GTA game? Are they really gonna go another decade without putting out another Grand Theft Auto? Are they really gonna go through this again?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm gonna cross my fingers on that. Also, bro, are you sure that GTA is gonna be the only one? You forget Spider-Man? Or you forget Call of Duty? Bro, there's many games that are still coming out. Yes, Modern Warfare 3 is buggy, or perhaps right now, if you guys heard, that everyone is requesting a refund, sadly, which is unexpected or perhaps predictable. But many games that are coming. Look, there's still more. I'm certain they're still creating games. Like Marvel's Wolverine, Marvel's Avengers, Street Fighters, Tekken. There's many others. And yet, don't forget, there's also esports tournament. The esports tournament are relying on these games. They're gonna need it.
I don't think they are. Like, I think the game is going to come out. It's going to be underwhelming. It's going to be really microtransaction heavy. It's going to scare a lot of people off. People are being are put off by that stuff in this day and age. I do think there is going to be some negative backlash to Grand Theft Auto 6, even if people buy and support the game out of blind brand loyalty, right? It's probably going to win Game of the year it comes out, but that doesn't mean anything. That isn't going to leave much of an impact, right? That isn't something I care about. You know, like when all is said and done, what really matters for Grand Theft Auto, what matters for Take Two, what matters for Rockstar is that they put out a good product. And I simply don't believe that's actually possible.
Of course, you don't believe it's possible because you're only sucking on Nintendo. You only like Super Mario's Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and sometimes if they don't win Game of the Year or Game of the Awards, you just think, oh, it's a lie, everything. Look, they're gonna be fine. They're not gonna do well on launch. I'm not certain about that. I'm only stating what the past experience of every gamer did. And for me, I will wait at least until the patch arrive, until the first or perhaps the day one patch arrive, and then purchase the game. Seriously, there are many things. Listen, you see what happened with Forspoken. Many bad reviews, they had to shut it down, Redfall, and I'm trying to be smart with my money. I don't want it to happen to get a shitty product or perhaps a bad product or a bad game, so I have to make sure I manage that. One day, I'll be playing Starfield. Let's continue forward.
I have no interest, even now, in playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I have no interest at all in Grand Theft Auto 6, other than the fact that like it's gonna do well and kind of like keep PlayStation and Xbox propped up for just a little bit while longer. It's one of the the unholy trinity, right? Uh, this is one of the only brands that is keeping those platforms alive in this day and age. And if Grand Theft Auto fails for any reason, if they
Whoa. Again with all these long ass pauses. Dude, do you want most of my viewers or myself to put you on a suicide watch? Harmon, really? Edit your video. Look, it's not that hard. And if you see this video and there are some cuts of it, that means I know how to edit. Look, there are many software out there. Adobe Premiere Pro, Filmora, and Filmora is free. There's also Filmora X that is free without watermark. Bro, listen, edit your video. I don't even know how many counters I'm gonna be putting. I could be losing count. And also, of course, you didn't care about it because it's not on Nintendo Switch.
they fail to kind of prop up the PlayStation and Xbox brands, like it's over for those console brands. So I am very anxious to see the end of Grand Theft Auto and to see them fail. But unfortunately, unlike a lot of other brands that I hate, Final Fantasy, Konami, Capcom, like it doesn't seem as if they're anywhere near where they need to be for that to happen. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe like, only making Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption is really catching up to them. But like,
Of course you're ignorant, dude. I'm guessing right now, Capcom is doing great. So far so good, nothing much. I mean, they're still creating Resident Evil 9, which I'm crossing my fingers on that one. And it's gonna be okay. I mean, yes, PS5 can be sometimes. Let's just say they're not gonna get 30 FPS or perhaps beyond 30 FPS, like 120, compared to the PC, of course, which it can do that. Eventually, Harmon, I'm not gonna be the only one who is making this video. Other PlayStation fanboy is gonna caught up or catch up to you, so be careful, man.
I feel as if Grand Theft Auto is as a brand is just super overhyped, that it doesn't really deliver anything important or interesting, and that it really only sells based on its basic premise of just being a criminal in America, which is honestly kind of disgusting. Like Grand Theft Auto is just a shameful franchise. It's embarrassing. I hope more people start making fun of it. The games aren't fun. There's nothing good about them. There's nothing like interesting about them. Like I long for the day that they no longer are a big like cornerstone of gaming culture. But who knows when or even if that'll happen, right? Like right now, it seems like they're kind of this unstoppable pinnacle of like open world game design. They're still seen as like the gold standard, and I think that's gonna be. I
That's another counter. Yep, that's another counter.
That hasn't been true for a long time. Like I think they've been beaten on that front like time and time again by all sorts of different developers, right? But I think like the mainstream audiences don't really admit it. Like Grand Theft Auto is the best because it's Grand Theft Auto. It doesn't really need to have a good game attached to it. It just needs to have that license, right? It just needs to be Grand Theft Auto. And I feel as if it's going to be a long, hard road to get to the point where Grand Theft Auto is a shell of its former self. I hope audiences wake up and start acknowledging that these games are not that important.
And we come to the end of the video, and bro, before I end this, listen, they're not gonna do anything, okay? Look, they're gonna be fine. Do you even know what the term Grand Theft Auto means? Have you even researched what it means? Look, this is the reason why that game is rated M. It's rated for mature, and unlike Nintendo games that are rated for kids. Bro, this is the reason why ratings are important. Take a look what happened with Mortal Kombat, the original one. That game launch thus created the ESRB. This is the reason why ratings are important, to cater not just in one audience, to multiple. Like, not just for kids. There's also young adults, teenagers, adults, and there's also for senior citizen or old people. That's why they say they have rated E for everyone. And there's also RP, aka rated pending. There's also rated T, rated for teenagers. In fact, my first game happens to be House of the Dead. As for the gore, I think it's a bit like Mortal Kombat. Hell, I even 10 years earlier to play that game. I'm feeling okay. I'm still survived today. Listen, Harmon, I don't know how many counters I just found in this video. Dude, seriously, edit your video. You have a gaming laptop or a gaming PC, use it to edit your videos. I'm pretty much certain that gaming PC of yours has enough RAM, has enough graphics card to handle any editing software. Look, it's not that easy. You can even look tutorials in YouTube. Seriously, edit your video. That's a lot of dead air. If you guys enjoy this, leave a like and subscribe, and there'll be relevant content will be in the description down below, and there's also up here. And if you guys want to see reaction videos or anything, visit my second channel over here, and also there'll be a link in the description down below.